Hi everybody, I'm Rockin Robin. Today I'm going to show you how to make orange Jello whip. Now you may know this by the name of orange fluff. Well anyway, this is a nice Jello dessert made with orange Jello, some fresh, well actually some canned fruit, and I'm going to be using real whipping cream as opposed to Cool Whip. When I originally got this recipe, it called for Cool Whip. And I tend to like to go with the natural whipping cream because it's healthier for you. So anyway, I do have a trivia question for you, and that is, when was Cool Whip invented? So I'm coming right back to show you how to do it and answer that question. So let me tell you the answer to our Cool Whip trivia question. Cool Whip was invented in 1967, long time ago. So anyway, let's go over our ingredients so we can get started. All right, we're gonna need a nice big package of orange Jello. So this is 6 ounces. We've got some mandarin oranges, which are drained, and some crushed pineapple. Again, we want that to be drained. We don't wanna thin out our Jello mixture. Here's my real whipping cream. I've got about a cup of that, and we'll add some sugar to sweeten that up just a bit. And this is optional. I've got some crushed or some finely chopped up walnuts here. You can use those. This is just a garnish that you can sprinkle on top if you want a little texture difference. You could also substitute in some little mini marshmallows, which goes really well with it as well. The first thing we want to do is dissolve our Jello, and I forgot to mention that we need 1.5 cups of boiling water. So we'll pour that in a bowl. And we're going to stir in our Jello. So just stir it up until it completely dissolves. Take just a couple minutes. So once the sugar crystals dissolve, we're going to let this sit on the counter for a few minutes until it's cool enough to go into the refrigerator. I don't want to put a hot dish in the refrigerator, so we'll let this cool about 10 minutes or so. And then we'll put it in there, and while we're waiting for that, I think we'll move into mixing up our whipping cream. So while the Jello is cooling, and I put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to leave it there for 15 to 20 minutes. What you don't want to do is let it set up. It needs to stay a liquid, it just needs to be cooled down some. So while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and mix up our whipping cream. So I'm going to pour it into my mixer here, and I'm probably going to add a couple of tablespoons of sugar. I want it to be somewhat sweet. As you know, Cool Whip is sweet. So here's what our whipping cream looks like. Nice and firm peaks. That's just what you want. I checked the Jello. It's nice and cool now when I touch it. Cool enough. And what I'm going to do for the purposes of this video so you can see is I'm going to put everything in this bowl here. All right, so we're going to pour the Jello. It's starting to get a little thick here, but it's still liquidy, and that's important that you make sure that it still is liquidy enough so that you can mix the whipping cream into it. Okay, and it'll firm up, it'll have a chance to firm up even more in the refrigerator after we combine everything. So we'll add the whipping cream. I'll use my spatula here and get everything in there. And I'm going to go ahead and fold some of this in. And once I get most of this folded in, I'm going to add the pineapple and the mandarin oranges. Looks nice and fluffy. And that's why it's important, like I said, to make sure that it stays a liquid, because then it just gets impossible to mix in. All right, now we're ready for our pineapple and the oranges. And you want to make sure that these are drained really well as well, because that liquid will just make your fluff not so fluffy. All right, so now we'll just fold everything in again. And then this is going to go into the refrigerator to chill for about 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll serve it up. The Jello whip has been in the refrigerator now for several hours, and now it's nice and firmed up, very firm, And I want to mention before I serve it up is another way to serve it for your guest. You might want to serve it in individual glasses or dishes. And so what I did here was I took a margarita glass and I filled it up, and you want to do this when the mixture is just mixed so it's nice and fluid and it fills your glass nicely. So you fill up your margarita glass, top it with some mini marshmallows and a nice little wheel of orange, and it looks very festive. Now other than that, you can just serve it in the bowl like I'm doing today. And let me scoop some of this out. You can see that it is quite firm. And you can top it with some walnuts if you want, or not. Just depends on how you like it. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a taste. Oh, I tell you, that is so nice. Very bright flavor. You can taste a little bit of pineapple, mandarin oranges, and of course the real whipping cream. And I love that. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time with me today. And I really hope you found this video useful. And be sure and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day. Today I'm going to show you how to make orange Cool Whip.